听众朋友，早上好，欢迎您收听今天早班的节目。
Jika Anda akan keluar makan petang hari ini.
Good morning, I'm Will Xavier, and you're tuned in to 938 Live. Today, we're going to talk about Octo's special documentary feature on Singapore called Old Places. What special memories of old Singapore do you have? Well, today, you'll be listening to the voices of Singaporeans as they share memories of the special places from our past. It's going to be a wonderful journey through old Singapore. And as you listen to them, enjoy the amazing places from our past that are still around today and which we hope will still be with us for many more tomorrows to come.
Lam Yo Coffee Powder Factory is very special to me because since young, like I was like 2-3 years old, I will be snatching coffee from my mum. Eventually, as I grow older, of course, I have the full license to drink as much coffee as I want to. Just really nothing beats local coffee. I think, nowadays we have like so many of those modern joints, right? You have the American brands and then you also have the Vietnamese brand and all kinds. I still prefer the local taste because the aroma of the coffee is not as sour and then there's this special taste to it. I believe it's because they use corn and butter when they are frying the coffee. Every time I step into Lam Yo, the whole setup of the shop, it's very retro. So my mom used to go there and buy. Now I'm driving, it's easy. I will go there and buy. And then that's where you can find the original Singapore coffee. Not only that, how it's made, the kind of container they keep the coffee in, how they grind down the coffee beans. And I always ask them to double pack for me because I try to buy as much as I can at one go and then I store it in my house. The Cliff Sims, when I was young, I was staying there. So it always brings me a lot of memory because it's always the old-fashioned kind of things where they used to do all the bread. And a lot of people who are elderly people who were there when I was young. I used to see them sit down and mingle around, all kind of races, where Indians, Chinese, Malays, all sit there having a coffee. Like a day passed by. It's like a neighborhood kind of a place.
我记得我差不多在15、16岁的时候，我曾经到过这边，因为我到过这边有一个这个咖啡店看过，因为它有一个吸引力，就是说我好奇，因为这边以前有人家在有做那种斗鱼的活动，好多那些上年纪的人都有这种嗜好，把他们的鱼用一个小的那个布的那种 bag 这样带过来，那么呢把他们的鱼就拿出来，各比较同样大小的鱼，就假价钱合理的话，假如谈妥那个相斗的那个数目的话，他们就把2只鱼倒在一个大的玻璃瓶里面。 那么开始斗这样，那么从那个时候很多人都来围观，都相当热闹的。以前这个咖啡店，我会倒觉得这边的咖啡道，我也会为我以前小时候的喝到的咖啡。我现在到很多地方去喝的咖啡，好像没有像那种真正的那种浓浓的咖啡味，很多的像那种比较有化学药品的味道比较多过咖啡的味道。
The reason why I choose the place to do my wedding photograph at this coffee shop because it has a lot of history behind. Because this kind of place is going to die off soon in Singapore. The old man making a coffee with the old kettle, that kind of things. So it's a very rusty kind of environment. That's the reason why I took the place there to do a photo shoot. The past was very nice because everything is very slow moving. Everybody don't bother what you're doing. Because I was very young at the time and everybody's there like a family. Nobody is really fear about any crime, nothing. It's like everybody knows each other somehow or other.
Young 的时候啊，我就常去那边 买他的面包吃哦，连到现在我还是经常买他的面包吃这样子哦。我看他一开始那边，我相信那边已经好几十年了，只不过是我看有20多年了去买。那时候我大概是20多岁的时候啦，我们一帮朋友常去那边看戏嘛，那边有宝石戏院呐，还有那个总统戏院，还有那个豪华戏院呐。那么我们看完了戏，都会走会经过那个面包店那边啊，我们就会买面包啦。我们会买了一些面包带回家去啊，有时候一面走一面吃这样子啦。我觉得他们的面包都比较传统啦。好像那种淡淡的面包味道这样，比较耐吃啦，不会说让你吃了吃几次就会觉得好像外面的面包我们吃啊很油腻啊，那么那个牛油的味道很重啊，那个香料的味道也是很重啊，加上有防腐剂啊，所以我们吃了之后很快会觉得说会腻啊。不过他们面包是不会啦，因为你再吃一点也不会觉得说有这种感觉啦。吃到面包的时候，你会想到你小时候曾经吃过这样的面包，然后你现在还在吃啊，这样子。
Every time when I pass by this mama shop in McPherson, it reminds me of my primary school days, where after sweaty day out playing soccer with my friends, we used to race each other to the mama shop, and they were selling like all sorts of sweets, but my favorite was, they sell those hex sweet, if you know this brand, which came in like black color and orange color, but all the kids, they really like the orange color ones, nobody liked the black ones, and the uncles at the mama shop were always selling it at like 5 for 20 cents. As kids, we used to collect ticket albums, and it would be the popular thing among the kids. They would hang up the magazines like how they hung, the laundry. It would be just on this small raffia string or some small rope, and they would be hanging like one after another. I found it pretty amusing because I think the shop uncle doesn't even understand half the magazines that are being displayed there.
我在大巴窑住了很久，这个斯巴萨就等于看着我成长。我想这个斯巴萨大概都有30多年的历史吧。小时候每个周末，我妈妈会带着我跟弟弟去斯巴萨买菜。除了认识那些小贩以外，也认识那些顾客，因为大家都是老街坊、老邻居，所以你都知道谁呀的。虽然斯巴萨的卫生条件不是那么好，但是每当我看到我妈妈跟那些买菜买肉的小贩讨价还价的时候，我都觉得很开心，因为不是说计较那几分钱几毛钱，而就是看到那个乐趣，就是想要便宜一点嘛。小贩也会很乐意的给你一些甜头，比方说会给你多1根葱，然后如果买1斤肉的话，也可能再给你多一点点肉，这样逗得大家都开心。有时候你会看到几桌的老太太啊、中年妇女啊，他们都会坐在一起聊天，一起扒豆芽。我觉得这个很可贵，因为不像现在，如果你只是去超级市场买东西，你只会一边看那些东西摆在哪里，然后拿了付了钱就走了，你不会只是买了东西，然后就坐在那些食物摊位前的桌子，把东西摆下来，可能叫一杯咖啡、一杯奶茶，聊聊天、扒扒豆芽。我觉得这个情景在很多地方都已经没有了。大巴窑这个斯巴萨应该被保留，就算翻新，可能让它更美观、更清洁。可是我还是觉得应该保持目前这个状况会比较好，因为斯巴萨这个地方是一个促进人与人之间交流的好地方。
Actually, when in our childhood days, we stay somewhere along Battle Road, which is now the Toa Payoh housing estate. Those people staying in the area, those are vegetable farming. Of course, some have pigs and some chicken and nut farming as well as flowers. I think when I was about 12 or 13 years old. I just remember that my daddy told me that one of the old men was staying opposite our place. Told him that he heard a loud bang, so he dashed out to the window, and what he saw actually a fireball shoots up in the sky. Then he looks up into the sky, and actually he saw the fireball is a burning dragon. So when the sun comes out, he and some of his neighbors rushed to the place where they saw the fireball. They found it that this was an unused well. Those larangs around the well was all burnt. And in the well they saw one big hole beside the wall of the well. So that's all I can recall.
This Mei Wan Bridge is special for connection between Li Wan and Taiwan, and as well as Mei Wan, to connect them together for passengers to move around instead of crossing the BC Road. This is Ang Mo Kio one. This design belongs to the 70s. So those days is only generally for pedestrian moving around, school children, instead of running across, they can move from here. Because Ang Mo Kio, this junction has become very busy now, and with the opening of Lorong Chuan. I heard, some small boys who stay around this kampong, so they like to come to the playground to play, but they need to cross the bridge. So they have a phobia of the bridge might collapse, might give way. So once they come here, the phobia is there. So they need to, as fast as possible, run across. Look at it, it's maybe an old relic, but it serves its purpose, helping many others to move around easier.
大巴窑这个游乐场所呢，是我们小时候放学回来都会在这里玩耍的乐园。我还记得呢，尤其是这个龙头的溜滑梯呀，有时候是美术课，老师也会带我们来这里做实地的写生。这一切溜滑梯、荡千秋、跷跷板，一切什么都好像几十年没有改变，但是改变的是我们的心情。 有时候下午的时候，会有一辆广告车停放在不远的停车场，兜售青草油。他一来便会用扩音机播出他的广告，引起邻里的注意。不但推销产品，也同时不忘劝人行善。我还记得有一小段，我模仿给大家听听。射定射毛好，射背纸，用双下跳车头腰，甲伊拔落去，即使袂疼。 厝边头尾才有人需要，每落光送可以用，也算行个好心。人打好心有好报，天白就保好，食老有好子孙，这些就报告。
Dover Playground used to be my playground because I was living around the area. So around, I think when I was a child, I used to go there to play with my siblings, my sister, my brother, and we had a lot of fun time over there. I remember the sand over there and the pelican statue where we would be jumping up and down, trying to get up there's a hole in the pelican and we would try to climb up and stay on there to look at the surroundings from a higher point of view. There was an incident where, my brother, he was really urgent. So he actually ran to the playground and then he hid in a corner and he actually peed in the sand. We actually covered the pee with more sand. I think we can hardly find playground with sand these days. It's always carpeted with, those kind of plastic foam. So if this playground is really being torn down, I think I'll feel very, very sad because it actually brings back a lot of memories of childhood where children are trying to run around, being so carefree, and yeah, I'll feel very, very sad.
Katong Swimming Complex has actually been open since 1975, diligently serving the public for all those people who actually only pay $1 to go in. It used to be cheaper when you have a student fare, and I would always remember fondly their chicken wings and their ham and cheese sandwiches. Because I live in the east, so that was actually one of the cleanest pool that was not too crowded. What's very cool about this swimming pool is that there are like fish fountains, these little statue things that you can actually play with when you're in the kids pool. It's sort of like a baby pool, and the water out of these things. I think it's quite entertaining for children. I really like these double-seater plastic chairs at Katong Swimming Complex that I don't think you can find anywhere else. You know how those white plastic chairs for the parents to sit down when they're watching their kids swim is actually usually a single seat, right? But these are like double seat, like love seat plastic chairs, which I think is incredible. Katong Swimming Complex is the only swimming pool where you can find these retro-looking, multi-colored umbrellas that are all around the pool for people to sit under because it's really hot there. I don't believe that you can actually find these umbrellas anywhere else in the swimming pools in Singapore. Personally, I like old stuff. I like grimy stuff, so I'm okay if everything is old, a little shabby and run down, because I think it is a reminder of our history, of our culture, and of the years that have gone through in this place.
The Queenstown Bowl was memorable because in the past it came with the cinema. So I used to go for Chinese movies there, where there were still screening movies. And then later on, when the cinema closed, the bowling alley was still around, and they actually brought in a couple of arcade machines also. So it became a haunt for those of us who were hanging around there on the weekend. We could go bowl. There were very few people, so we always get a lane. We don't have to queue. And then when the arcade machines move in on the weekend, those of us who are waiting for lanes can also play the arcade machines. So the thing about Queenstown for me is that even, as it's near central or town or all that, it's never been a satellite town where it's so crowded like Bedok, Ang Mo Kio, Toa Payoh. So it still retains its uniqueness, to this day, which I'm very happy that it is. That's why even while moving out, I'll try to look for something nearby. So that's, to me, the most unique part about it. It's so central. It's almost like you almost think that the government is going to seize the locality just to, as much as possible, pump in all the property there so that people can, flood it. But no, it's not. So we are quite thankful. I'm quite thankful for that.
My father was a bus driver. He used to drive 327, the SBS feeder bus, which is no longer around. As a bus driver, sometimes gets lots of frustration from vehicles who cut into the bus lane. But every time he drove past these rainbow flats, it always brought a smile to his face. I remember him saying to me, it's very rare to see rainbow. But for me, I'm very lucky to have this rainbow accompany me for 20 years. I'm a very lucky old man.
I remember Haw Par Villa as a childhood place that we'll go to as a family. It's a very colorful place. The mom would bring us to go to Haw Par Villa, like maybe on special occasion like Chinese festivals or our birthdays, and it would be like a nice family place that we would go and have picnic. I think that it was a very scary place for a child to see the 10 courts because it depicts like the images in hell, and at that age I wasn't sure why my mom would bring me to a place like that, but I guess in her point of view, she's actually educating us, to be a good person when we grow up, even as a child, to not lie and not do evil things. So she was showing us like the punishments we will get in the afterlife if we were to be a wicked person. I remember that when we were there, it was very scary for me. I didn't want to leave her side or the side of my siblings. I wanted to stay close to everyone because the images at the 10 courts, the statues and the sculptures were very horrifying to me. It's like going through a dark tunnel and it's like experiencing hell, and it's cold. It feels hopeless. It's the images give that kind of a feeling of hopelessness, and that, you know, if you are there, you know, there's no way out and you are punished for eternity. Now that my mom is gone, if I were to go back to Haw Par Villa again, it will bring back memories of my mom and bring back memories of the time when we had as a family.
自我所知，这个饼家大概有30多40年的历史了。这个是从我的亲戚他们介绍我过来这边订这个礼饼的了。第一次看到他们做这个寿桃，就是一点好奇心了，问问他们这个是用什么做的了。连他们就帮我解释了，哇，原来是只是用面粉跟这些很普通的材料，但是做出来的东西竟然这样美啊，又这样好吃了，真的是佩服了，让我学到一些知识了。我是一个比较 modern 的人啊，因为我对拜神啊这些都很少拜了。对，我跟我太太都是比较modern，但是我自从我来到这边，看到这个老地方这个景泰饼家之后，看了他们的东西，学了他们的习俗之后，我觉得，我们华人应该要继续这样做下去。